Guys, I've bought a new add-on for my pinball cabinet. It's the Elgato Stream Deck. It's normally used for people that do streaming, but it can be used for sending shortcuts or starting programs, etc. I use it with my pinball cabinet. For example, I can increase volume, decrease volume, as you can hear. I don't use the standard settings to do this, but I use a script which calls set full executable to increase and decrease the volume in increments of 5. I can also mute, so no sound, unmute. I can now also use this without a keyboard. For example, if I start a table in Zaccaria Pinball, I can go to my setup for controls, and this is the up key, down key, left key, right key. I don't think it's that good visible. But for example, the script for Zaccaria Pinball, it launches the game and it starts the table, but you have to select play, etc. But now I can also choose, for example, if I press right, down, left, I can choose certain settings, and I have also an enter key. For example, now I can change. Let me check where I am. There. For example, now I can choose number of players. I can go back. I can choose ball count. This is all possible, of course, with the keyboard also, but for simple things, I wanted to use this Elgato Stream Deck, which replaces certain parts of the keyboard. So yeah, and I can also select the game mode. If I want a different game mode, I can select it all by the little tool, all by the Elgato Stream Deck. One of the main reasons, and then if I press play, the game plays, and I am running in that mode. Yeah, it still has a bug. So that's nice. I mainly bought it initially for Bingo Game Room, because Bingo Game Room needs a lot of it needs a lot of keys, and I didn't always want to use and search for the keys on my keyboard. So for example, if I go to Bingo Game Room, and I think I had pre-set up a certain table, yeah, beach time. Let's launch it. So now I go back to Bingo Game Room, and I have a red button, yellow button, green button, blue button, white button, orange button, and the letters A, B, C, D, E, F. For example, on this table, you can see that the scoreboard has A, B, C, D, E, F, and my A and B keys are lit. So now if I press A, it moves my scoreboard, and I don't have to use the keyboard specifically for it, but I can use the Elgato Stream Deck, and I can create directories per game or per system, and then assign specific keys I want to use with that game or system. So that's one of the main reasons why I bought this, so I can easily press certain keys and they are all next to each other without having to search them on the keyboard. I also have a keyboard, as you can see, but still, this is fun and something to mess with. One of the things I also added, one thing I need to say, I needed to run the Stream Deck software in administrator mode in order for Bingo Game Room to recognize my shortcut keys, so the A, B, C, D, E, F buttons, when running it from Pinball X. The reason is probably because Pinball X itself runs as administrator, or I had it set up to run as administrator. I can't remember. But if you don't do this, then Elgato Stream Deck software cannot communicate with other software. It did work for Zakaria Pinball, but I don't know. I had to do this for Bingo Game Room, but now it's working fine. Another thing I have set up, as you can hear, you hear the background noise from the table, and I can mute it and mute it. And the mute and the volume buttons work globally because I don't use the media keys, or I don't use volume up, volume down. That's pre-configured in Elgato. I use a separate program for it. And also I can now see, let's see if I can get a better picture. Yes, I can see CPU usage. I can see CPU usage, CPU temperature, GPU usage, and GPU temperature. As you can see, Bingo Game Room does not use much of CPU usage, and my temperature is about, let's see, it's not easy to record this. It's also displaying a small graph, as you can see on the bottom. If my CPU usage goes up, the graph fills near, if my CPU usage is 100%, the button will be all green. So that's really nice. This works together with open hardware info. And yeah, it basically gets the data from the sensors. It's not built in by default, but it's a custom custom plugin for the Elgato Stream Deck. And yeah, it's working nice. So it's a nice addition. You can also launch programs with it. Basically, my top keys for the volume is to launch programs. And this is my system info. These are the keys, main keys. I also set up one for taking a screenshot, but it's basically just a S key because Pinball X takes a screenshot then from the tables. So yeah, it's nice. It's about 100 or 120 euros. It's cheaper in the US than in Europe, but you probably have to pay a lot of taxes if you order from Amazon in the US. So I bought it from Amazon Germany, I think. Yeah. And you can, I will show you, you can, let me exit Pinball X. I will show you the main program of Elgato Stream Deck. As you can see, you can set up the buttons here, or and on the right you have all the different actions, but as you can see, most of them are related to streaming, except for a few related to Stream Deck itself. To create a folder or switch a profile or a timer or the brightness, and then these I use the most, hotkeys and the open stuff, or to launch a batch file. I basically use batch files and then I let it run. So yeah, it's a nice addition for a pinball cabinet. There exists a 6-key version. I got I think I have the 15-key version, and there is even one bigger version also. So yeah, and I had it just sitting beside my cabinet. It works by using an USB port. It connects by using an USB port. So yeah, that was it, guys.